First flash, intro, gang.
Who?
So
It's not
I'm
like
guessing
normal Goku. It's Goku Black, which like
Goku
Give
Black.
you a gift.
some
No,
differences.
10 gifts.
Usually it would be the other way around.
If you use our code BATTLE at adamandeve.com, you'll get 50% off almost any one item.
Then Adam and Eve loads on the free stuff.
That's a gift for him, a gift for her, and something for the both of you.
Plus 6 free movies and free shipping.
Remember, that's offer code BATTLE, B-A-T-T-L-E, at adamandeve.com for 50% off almost any one item and 10 free gifts.
Let me skip this ad.
The body-stealing arbiter of divine justice.
And the Reverse Flash, DC's
Oh, we're actually gonna have to
psychopathic
actually watch this
speedster
video.
fanboy.
They say
The last one I skipped
imitation
because
is
I
the
do about
sincerest
Saitama
form of
and
flattery.
actually,
But
I
I'd
had no
say
idea
the
who Popeye
sincerest
was,
form of
but-
flattery
Popeye,
is
like, his
not
whole
trying to
thing.
kill your superhero husbando.
Yeah.
He's Wiz and I'm Boomstick.
And it's our job to
Yeah,
analyze their
eat
weapons,
spinach,
armor,
more
and
spinach,
skills to
eat
find out
stronger,
who would
yes.
win a death battle.
Is it playing through the mic?
Thoughts of a god. What do immortals dream of with all the time in the world? In Zamasu's case, his one goal was divine justice.
Yeah, this guy's got major Final Fantasy big bad energy all over him.
As the assistant to Universe 10's Supreme Kai, Zamasu prized, above all else, cosmic order and natural beauty.
Ooh, that reminds me. Did you know I can burp and fart at the same time? Here, let me try.
Unsurprisingly, Zamasu despised the inherently chaotic nature of mortals, being seemingly unwilling to lift themselves out of their own cycle of violence and stupidity, like some people I know.
Yeah, I know those people too. His heart was clouded. Until the day he met Son Goku.
With God Ki, Goku could match blows with the god of destruction, Beerus. Their clash nearly destroyed the entirety of Universe 7, a cosmological structure at least 9 times larger than our own universe. At most, it could even be as large as 13 times greater than ours. Side note, it's worth mentioning that when 2 gods of destruction fought, they were capable of casually destroying 2 of these universes.
And since the shockwaves from their punches traveled across Universe 7 in seconds, they'd have to be hitting way faster than light.
Goku was tapping into his Super Saiyan God form for this, though clearly not at its full strength. While the exact multiplier for Super Saiyan Blue is unknown, Toriyama himself has directly compared it to the original Super Saiyan form.
And don't forget, Goku trained with Whis and fought in the tournament with Universe 6 before Zamasu caught up with him. So by that time, he was way stronger.
Here was a mortal with the powers of gods beyond even Zamasu's abilities. Someone who could bring his dreams to fruition.
So Sammy did what anyone would do in that situation. Kill his master to become the Supreme Kai, wish on the Super Dragon Balls to switch bodies with Goku, and kill every single mortal in the universe.
And thus the deity Zamasu became Goku Black.
Please, Goku Black, you couldn't be more creative.
Now, you might be wondering, why didn't he just wish all the mortals dead? But that wouldn't be as fun, would it? Black's got all of Goku's strength and powers, but wielded by a genocidal maniac instead of that lovable goober of a monkey man.
And in keeping with Goku's Saiyan heritage and godly ki, Black can easily achieve the form of Super Saiyan God Super Saiyan.
But with a champagneful twist.
Super Saiyan Rose.
Rosé? Really? What is he, a suburban wine mom? Watch out before he unlocks Super Saiyan Live, Laugh, Love! He stole Goku's techniques too, like the instant transmission, where he focuses on a person's key signature to teleport to their location. He's even got the Black Kamehameha, which is a Kamehameha, but pink.
And with a Saiyan body, he gets stronger and stronger every time he almost dies. He just becomes harder and harder to kill.
Which really sucks for the rest of the universe, because Black is kinda like if Goku just snapped one day and used his powers to their full murderous potential.
Like the God Split Cut, where he surrounds his hands with a keyblade to slice you to ribbons. He used this very technique to kill Goku's family.
He can even extend this keyblade into a huge curved one called the Azure Dragon Sword, which, along with his Kamehameha, confirms my suspicions that Goku is colorblind.
Actually, Black's Azure Dragon Sword is named after a legendary weapon wielded by one of Earth's greatest warriors, the Desert Bandit Yamcha. Wait, what?
And he can make a scythe and slice open space-time itself to create a bunch of shadow clones. Black, not Crater Boy over here. But his most dastardly weapon isn't a key technique at all. It's the time ring he got from his dead master.
This ring allowed Black to travel through time, and even
check, mic
escape
check.
into future Trunks' alternate timeline, where he had free reign over the entire
I'm just trying to make sure you don't hear like
And let him team up with his best bud,
the speakers
himself.
through the
Too
mic.
bad Goku and company showed up to spoil the fun.
Actually,
But
let me
wait,
try to- I'm
isn't
trying to turn
Zamasu
the
in Goku's
video down a
body?
little bit.
How are there two Gokus? There's only one Goku in the multiverse, right?
Yeah, yeah.
But Goku met Black before he met Zamasu, which means Black existed before Zamasu came up with the idea. And then they killed Zamasu before he could do it anyway, but Goku Black was still around? What the hell is going on?
Sure, it's a classic grandfather's paradox. The thing is, Black's time ring prevents him from being affected by alterations to his own personal timeline. So, killing him in the past doesn't change his future, and vice versa. He's almost impossible to kill because even if you do it at one point in time, he still exists at another point in time. And another, and another, and another, and another.
Oh, God, I hate time travel. Black has crushed Saiyans like Goku, Vegeta, and Trunks. Hell, even Vegito couldn't beat him. He even merged with the universe to become one with everything. Like I said,
Replicating
major
Goku's
Final
myself.
Fantasy villain vibes here.
It took Zeno, the Omni King, the most powerful being in all of creation, to step in and erase that entire timeline just to stop Black's rampage. How ironic. Zamasu's higher calling was the eradication of all mortal life in the universe, and he stole the strongest mortal's body to do it. But in the end, he was always doomed to fail. His quest for power meant nothing against a being that would always be stronger no matter what he did or who he was.
And the universe ended up being destroyed anyway. It's like
So
one
where's
big
Leech's
cosmic
OP?
joke
Yeah,
with no one
They just
left
had
to
they just
laugh.
had to delete the timeline.
You've been running
They
around
had to
making
delete the
messes for
timeline,
too
too.
long.
They just had to okay.
Choke the life out of you.
This is getting over.
I
This
can't
is getting
wait to
out of
watch you
hand.
die.
We gotta like
Just delete the whole
file.
timeline.
Ariel,
like new save
the
file.
Flash,
Alright, let me see what the Flash has.
is one of the greatest
Or the
heroes in
reverse
history,
Flash,
an
actually.
inspiration to many across time and space. And there's no better example than his #1 fan from the 25th century, Eobard Thawne.
All right, Wiz,
Eobard?
we've tackled
Eobard,
a
that's-
lot of stupid names for things in our years here at Death Battle, but I'm confident that Eobard is the dumbest f***ing first name I've ever heard in my life. Eobard was completely obsessed with the
following?
Flash and
Oh,
dedicated
okay, that
his
tells you how
whole
long
life
you've
to
been followed.
studying the
Okay.
Speed Force like a total nerd.
Wow, 1
Good
month,
luck
1
to
week,
him,
3
because
days,
there's
22
no way
hours.
he's figuring that shit out.
Okay, okay,
Thawne's
okay.
life irrevocably changed the day he discovered a time capsule from the 21st century. By some strange coincidence, it just so happened to contain Barry's costume. By experimenting on it, Thawne managed to replicate the Flash's powers, turning himself into a mirror of his idol.
And you can bet he totally crapped himself when Barry Senpai showed up in the future and took him under his wing. It was a dream come true.
Until Barry realized that Thawne had fabricated crimes in order to show up and save the day. Disgraced, Thawne promised to better himself before traveling to the past to prove his worth to his hero, to prove that their bond was special.
That's when Thawne
That's
found
crazy.
out that Barry already had a best friend, and a family, and a life. Without him, he didn't matter. He wasn't special. He was just a nobody Barry tossed out in the trash and forgot about. Like my Tinder dates do to me.
If only. When Thawne visited the Flash Museum in Barry's time, he discovered the secret identity to Flash's greatest enemy that in his future had been lost to time. The one Barry was fated to kill in battle. Eobard Thawne. Wait a minute.
Oh, ain't that a bitch? The shock
Time
drove
travel,
Thawne mad.
I'm
If he
already
couldn't be
confused.
Flash's best friend,
So
he'd be
basically,
his greatest
he fought-
enemy.
Wait,
And
wait, wait.
I guess also
He fought-
ensure
he
his
fought
own
Thawne.
future death.
He would travel
He had to
from
go
the
back in
future
time
to terrorize the
to
Flash
himself.
family in the
Learn
past.
that Flash-
Revenge
learn that
in
he had never
reverse.
Flash.
He'd become
then in
the
that same
Reverse
house,
Flash.
Reverse
learned that
Flash.
he was
We're really
one
setting the
day
world on
destined
fire
to
with these
die.
names today,
Flash.
huh, Wiz?
Thawne draws his powers from the negative Speed
Interesting.
Force, which he generates with every step he takes, just like Barry does with the regular Speed Force. The negative Speed Force gives Thawne access to many of the Flash's powers, including his mind-bending super speed, enough to travel all across time and space in days. He can keep up with and
Invincibility.
surpass other speedsters like Barry and Wally.
Who once ran fast enough to cross the universe faster than two gods who could teleport. Wally even beat himself in a race, and Barry admitted Thawne was still faster than that. Wait just a second, he beat himself? That doesn't even make sense.
But unlike
really
Barry and
doesn't.
Wally, Thawne applies his powers
so
more
fast.
He's so fast, he can
catastrophically,
beat himself.
using them to their full
Like,
potential
what?
without any care for
Bro, and
collateral.
okay, to
Take,
be
for
fair,
instance, his ability to vibrate himself through solid
I
objects.
have no way of
Subjects
just
like,
explaining
say,
that away.
vital organs. And if he did, he'd scramble their molecules, causing instant death. Thawne did just that to Barry's wife Iris, and Barry
R.I.P.
did
Iris.
not appreciate it.
Thawne's vibrations are so powerful, he can even produce a counterforce that can reverse the destruction of the entire universe.
Pretty crazy sounding, but even B-tier speedsters like Jenny Ognats can do the same kind of thing. And when Barry and Wally raced each other, they were tearing up the entire multiverse.
Thawne can create shockwaves with a snap, phase into your body and possess you, and even speak at such high speeds that you'll hear his words as though they were your own thoughts. And instead of stealing your speed like other Flashes, he can steal your time.
Yeah, Thawne can yoink decades
Like, I
from your
thought
life
the
and
thing in the
age you
Flash
80
was about
years
speed,
in
they-
just a few
they can
seconds.
take- they can
Kinda
jump
sounds
in
like
your
your
body,
sex life, oh, is.
speak it as your thoughts.
But Thawne's greatest ability is his
Steal your
unmatched skill
time.
at
Steal
time
your
travel.
time.
And he
That's
uses
not how
this
that
expertise
works.
to be as petty and cruel as humanly possible.
Thawne wasn't a dummy. He knew that if he went back in time to kill Barry before he got his powers, he'd erase himself from the time stream too. So instead, he'd just make Barry's life suck as hard as he could. Push him down some stairs.
It was me,
retcon his
Barry.
best friend from history. Kill
It's
his
all-
mom. He
it's
even
all
told
happened.
Barry he'd go back in
It was
time and
me,
adopt him as
Barry.
his own son. Dude, what the fuck?
That's another big difference between Thawne and Barry. Whereas Barry only went
They're
back in
fighting
time
in
to
the
save his
football
mother's life,
stadium?
Thawne often went back in time to try to fix his own mediocre life. He killed his more successful younger brother, his career rival at the Flash Museum, and every single boyfriend his crush had until there was no one left but him.
And when she still rejected him, he went back in time again and made her an invalid for the rest of her life. Jesus Christ! This guy's a monster. But
Yeah,
wait,
he
Wiz,
needs help.
that's impossible.
That's
Grandpappy
crazy.
Paradox or whatever. If he went
Honestly,
back in time to kill
on a base.
someone, they'd be dead in the future. Which
You know what I
means,
mean?
which means,
Which
You wouldn't
means
know,
he'd
but
never
I do
know
not.
them and want to go back.
At
in time in
this
the first place,
circumstances, I
right?
do not know what you
Wiz,
mean.
maybe
Fair
time
enough,
is a
fair
construct with no legitimate unit of measurement other than the meager attempts man has made to understand the incomprehensible world around him.
Well, actually, Thawne was just inside the time stream when Barry initiated Flashpoint, which rewrote the universe while Thawne was
You know what I noticed?
technically
They've
disconnected
done no
from it.
math to
So
measure
Thawne
reverse
essentially
Flash's speed yet.
broke.
I don't really
Literally,
need to.
figuratively,
he's
mentally,
just-
physically, temporally.
Yeah.
Or
Nah.
maybe he just hated Barry so much it defied the laws of time itself. Whoa!
More specifically, he
essentially
became
the
a
entire thing.
living paradox, a being without a past or future, literally without continuity. Not only did this mean he'd be unaffected by changes to his past, it made him effectively immortal.
Stabbed in the
That's
chest by
crazy.
evil Batman, vaporized by Iris in some sweet, sweet payback, or getting Dr. Manhattan by the big blue god dong himself. Thawne was always reborn, unable to stay dead.
But more than anything, it made him immune from
Took out the entire
consequences.
Flash family
Unlike Barry, whose
simultaneously
changes
fast
to
enough
time
that
could
Barry cannot
destroy
see him.
all of reality, Thawne could do whatever he wanted. He was impossible to stop with no reason to hold back.
He survived a
infinity
hit from
mass
Barry
punch?
while he had the entire Speed Force absorbed into him, and even Wally's infinite mass punch, which has the mass of a white dwarf star. A white dwarf is essentially the remains of a star's ultra-dense core, which has a mass of
that's-
over 2 octillion
There
tons.
we go, octillion.
And he
There's
took
some
one
math
of
right
those
there.
to the noggin and just took a nap. Man, he must really
he
hate
took that
Barry if
punch
a
straight to
son
the
to the
head, too.
face can't take him down.
But
That's-
he doesn't hate Barry. All of his schemes, all of his machinations, all of his insane timeline-shattering threats, all of it was because it was the only way he could think of to spend time with his hero.
That's really
crazy.
sad.
His costume says it all. He never intended to be the Reverse Flash. He wanted to be the Kid Flash. All Thawne ever really desired was to be by Barry's side.
In the end, though, goody little Two Shoes Barry forgave him and then vibrated away his living paradox powers, erasing him from existence.
Though not entirely. Barry didn't kill Thawne, he reset his timeline, removing the one thing driving his hatred, his relationship with Barry. Without that, Thawne was a normal, happy Flash fan once again.
It's Comics Wiz, he'll be back.
Yes,
And when he
Marvel
does,
Comics
there'll be no
is-
running. He'll
Marvel
always be
Comics
faster.
is
He'll
just-
always
they got
catch
no
you.
sense.
And time
sense.
is always on his side.
Still think you can take me? Even death can't catch me.
That's true.
That is true.
All
be honest,
right,
I got
the
reverse
buttons are
Flash in this.
set. We've run the data through all
I'm thinking.
possibilities.
I'm
But
thinking
first,
it's
let
actually
me tell you
kinda
how to
close.
reverse things in the
Kinda close.
bedroom in a flash with Blue Chew.
They both seem
This
OP.
episode is sponsored by
Yeah, they-
Blue
they
Chew.
are.
WAD,
Learned
WAD.
anything from years of
It was
Alright.
me, Barry. I was the one who.
It was me, Barry.
It was me, Barry. I was.
Squarespace is a
Remember
one-stop
that
shop
time
that
you had
helped
that
me
one
set up my online
casserole
store.
you were anticipating to eat when it blew up in the microwave? It was me, Barry. I made the casserole.
Looks crazy already.
Oh, he likes tea. Oh, yeah, I forgot he likes tea. He's a little thirsty. He's
Mortal
British.
Sinners, prepare for divine justice.
He's murdered all the time while drinking tea.
Oops.
Excuse me, sir. I'm in need of your services.
That's crazy.
Stand still and face your judgment, mortal.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
What do you think of this
I
color?
don't know what that is.
Not beautiful.
You're on the moon. You're staying there in space. You're back on Earth. In the exact same city.
There's a little black cum coming out. Yeah, I got reverse flash.
I'll take reverse flash. It's essentially you just
I'll
can't
end
die.
this fight before it even
That's what I heard.
Death in reverse!
I thought the same thing with Taikama. So.
What? Magnificent. I mean, there's almost dog. But then the thing is,
Looking at the cartoons, I can't.
Mortals,
Yeah.
sinners,
Are there any
prepare
real-
for divine.
He just went back in time and he's not dead.
yeah.
He's going back in time
So
too.
it's-
Aren't you dead?
Come on, we're today.
He both went back in time. This is crazy.
I like how they could both do that.
Got all his clones. What is happening? They're just going back in time and killing each other.
They just keep doing it. So I think this here's the problem. It's actually just the same fight.
To stand atop all things and look down upon creation itself. That is the work of a god.
Empty threats to a living paradox!
Yeah, that was cool. That was cool.
How truly foolish.
They've been fighting. Oh, okay. He took his little time ring.
Important.
Oh, you took off the time ring.
Yeah.
Now you just go back in time.
He's just gonna throw him in the sun.
fun.
Well, reverse last one.
I guess, yeah.
You know, we've sent enough people to that sun. We really should have a timeshare.
This was a fairly tricky matchup to figure out, least of all for their incredible levels of power.
Black could destroy a universe like ours at least 660 times over. I mean, a punch at least as big as a star is really badass.
That's
That's in
great.
another league.
However, there was a lot more to cover
Yeah,
than
he
just
just, like,
how
he
many
just
stars or universes they could blow up.
But really,
At their
punch.
peak, both Goku Black
Really,
and
yeah,
Reverse Flash
there's
were
no way
so
you could've
impressive,
stopped
they were
Reverse Flash
removed
going
from
back in time, but with the
itself,
Goku, you could've just took the
becoming
time ring off,
living
so.
paradoxes.
I get that.
Making any attempt to kill either of them meaningless.
Stupid time travel.
It's difficult to determine who would figure out a counter to this temporal invincibility first, but it would most likely rely on a combination of speed and smarts.
As far as speed goes, it's no surprise Thawne definitely had the edge.
Yeah, but-
Black's attacks could reach speeds quintillions of times faster than light, but Thawne is a Flash.
Even early in his career as a member of the Flash family, Wally West could reach speeds that were impossible to comprehend and calculate. There are numerous examples of this for multiple iterations of the Flash,
Flash
many of whom
versus
Thawne
Sonic,
was
yeah.
clearly equal to.
Plus,
Lots
he's
of
kind of an
reasons.
expert when
It's
it comes
funny,
to
they have to use
timey-wimey
references from
bullshit.
different
And he could
videos
likely
just 'cause
overpower
they
Black
can't
and
keep up with their
destroy
own
said
math.
time ring too.
Well, this is
After all,
smart, but-
Thawne once generated enough energy to counter the destruction of the entire DC universe, which is
That's
stated
crazy.
in comics to be at least 100 trillion light years in diameter. That's over 1 billion times larger than our own universe, and over 70 million times larger than Dragon Ball's Universe 7.
It's sort of impossible
That's
to lock
right.
down the exact
Yeah, Reverse
limits
Flash
of
got
Goku
that.
Black's upper strength
yeah,
without getting into lots of assumptions and guesswork. He's obviously stronger than Goku was when he clashed with Beerus, but even being super generous with
I'm too
training
busy
and
trying to
power
figure this
boosts
stuff
and multipliers, the gap here is way too wide to be able to just assume Goku Black could match this level of power. The DC universe is just too big. And remember, Barry and Wally's race almost ripped apart the entire DC multiverse.
It's also important to stress that Goku Black is not Goku. Goku's drive and willpower can push through even the most absurd limits to potentially match higher levels of power. Zamasu took Goku's body because he's more than willing to take shortcuts. It's an entirely different mindset.
Yeah, and once he took care of that time ring, Reverse Flash had a lot more options than just overpowering Black. With that super speed, he could pretty easily scramble Black's insides or age him to death with a touch. Zamasu may have been a deity even without the time ring, but Goku's body is mortal with a limited range of age. Might have really screwed yourself with that one,
Reverse
huh,
Flash,
Zam Zam?
yeah.
Goku
I get it though. I get it though. That was good. That was a good fight.
Yeah.
I wish I understand it more, but you know, I'm not watching as many, however many Dragon Ball episodes they have, so.